All right, so tonight, in partnership with Enough is Enough, we're going to be having a conversation around TNCG conference with the theme Technology, the Present and the Future of Technology, Political Action in Africa. And we have Nancy, she's a communication associate at Budget, and she's live on Zoom with us. Hi, Nancy, how are you? Talk to us. Technology, how are we looking at technology driving political actions in Africa? And first of all, you see, when I hear technology and political actions in Africa, I don't think Nigeria is ready for that. I don't think, because again, we know how far technology is helping transform political actions across the world. I mean, look at the US elections. We're here in Nigeria monitoring like live result. I was watching a podcast. It was live result as it is being, announced and everything is. And that's the power and that's the beauty of technology. I don't see us embracing that because again, the system needs to not have those kinds of functionalities so that certain elements can continue to take advantage of the political structure. But you tell me, what's this conference about and why are we talking about technology and how it can drive African politics?
All right, thank you so much. So the Technology, New Media, Citizens and Governance Conference is happening, I think, next week, Thursday. It's a conference put together by EiE and Budget. But I think I'll just counter you a little bit when you were talking about Nigeria not being ready for technology, because I think we are, and we are getting there. Take, for instance, the 2023 election, we had the live election results. Though there was challenges from the government, yes, but I think the citizens are willing, but we don't just have the infrastructure that we need to take us there. So just to talk about the conference, it's just like trying to bridge the gap between the government and the citizens. We're going to be having speakers from across Africa. We're going to be having a keynote address from the Vice President, the former Vice President of Nigeria, that is Professor Yemi Osibanjo, and a lot of other experts, innovators, people that do interact with innovations and digital technology from day to day. So we're going to be seeing how they're doing it in other African countries, and then we'll be seeing, okay, what can we pick to replicate in Nigeria and what should we not pick? So basically, it is to bring together both stakeholders from the government sectors and citizens, where they get to ask questions, where they get to interact, and where they get to see how they can actually leverage technology, because technology at this point has come to stay and it is very important. So we're just going to see how citizens can use it very well to get involved in politics, to engage in governance, to demand accountability, to demand transparency from the government, and let's see how we'll take it from there. So basically, that's just what the conference is going to be talking about. It's going to be talking about how technology.
But away from the conference,
in Africa's democracy. Yes, I'm with you.
All right. So away from the conference, I'd like to ask you how these technological solutions can be made more accessible and relevant to grassroots communities in Africa, considering the barriers that that we have: digital illiteracy, infrastructure, and economic constraint.
Okay, so the accessibility, for a fact, is that technology has not gotten everywhere in Nigeria. We're trying, but we're not there yet. There are still some communities, there are still some areas in Africa, or let's say Nigeria now, that we don't have that digital infrastructure yet. So let's talk about getting the infrastructure right, first of all. So if you get the infrastructure right, then we'll now talk about the accessibility. How expensive is it for people to have access to? How easy is the data for people to actually use to access this technology we're talking about? And then we talk about the literacy. So, but you can't actually talk about the literacy, you can't actually talk about the accessibility without talking about the infrastructure. Because if there is no digital infrastructure up in a very remote area in the north, people would not even have access to it, much more learning how to use it. So we don't have that digital infrastructure yet that has actually covered all the areas that it ought to. We just have in selected places, but there are still some communities in Nigeria today that don't have access. There's nothing that's connecting them with technology and all of those things. So if we talk about that, we're not going to talk about how they can access it, the costs it will take for them to actually get the data to do these things. And then we talk about the literacy. Are they aware? Do they know how to use it? Do they not know how to use it? So these are some of the factors that are affecting it, so to say, in Nigeria's digital landscape.
So when you people are talking about technology and talking about some remote village in the north, the remote villages are all around us. Even some areas here. Do you understand? I mean, our technological infrastructure is quite epileptic in Nigeria. And let me tell you, you are countering me, but you're also somewhat burying yourself, because I mean, as little as an election that is done and you cannot even transmit electoral results, you promised to transmit results. You understand? And you cannot, and they will tell you, oh, the server was down, network was down, and all of those things. I don't think so. I like the positivity where you're going, but I don't think the people that are benefiting politically from the current structure as it stands in our political structure, I don't think they would want technology to really, really come full force. Because if technology were in play, a lot of things will happen. Look at what happened in the 2023 elections. A lot of young people, 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds, they were at the polling unit tweeting, snapping their electoral results and tweeting, and they are doing all of those things, saying that this is the result from my polling. You could see that there was an infusion of technology in that political process, especially in the 2023 general elections. But despite all of those things, but yet you know how the drama happens. It is in the, what's it called? What they call that center? What's the center now after they finish? The collation center. The drama happens. You understand? So I don't know. I don't know what the plan would be for us to start to have like live what's the word? Live stations at those collation centers, so that whatever it is, just upload it into the cloud. No need for all that drama, right? Say you are trying to write election results with hand. If we really want to solve the problem in Nigeria, we know what to do. But hey, I don't know. So what do you hope to achieve in the end? You know, what would success mean if this conference comes to life? What would success mean for you guys?
Okay, it's just be reshaping governance, reshaping it and making citizens more involved in politics, changing the dynamics of political action in Nigeria, improving democracy with the use of technology, because we have some technology tools, we have some digital tools. Take, for instance, the EiE, Office of the Citizen, right? There's a chatbot that makes you have access to all your elected representatives at just a glance. That's a very easy click. And before now, we don't have that kind of technology in Nigeria. We don't have access to all of those things. So for success for TNCG would be citizens understanding that, okay, their rights are secured. They won't be bullied into being quiet. They won't be shut down, because we've had cases where governments in Africa, not even Nigeria, where things are not going well for them, and then you just shut down the internet. We've had that case in Nigeria. We've had that case in Uganda. So citizens want to understand that, okay, I'm literate enough to understand that I need to use technology to get involved in governance. I'm literate enough to know that, okay, I need to use technology to demand the transparency and accountability that I want my public office holder to actually live up to. But then they just need to have that. They just need to understand that, okay, the government will support them. Absolutely. They just need to understand that, okay, you won't clamp down on me under some cyber security policy, under some policy that you're shaping just to make sure that I keep quiet, or I don't, you won't just come and arrest me or pick me up the street. You won't intimidate me for using my digital means, to get involved in governance and be part of political actions in Nigeria. So yes, that would be success for TNCG, because we'll be having state actors in the same room as citizens, and we hope that, okay, there will be good conversations, there will be good networking, and there will be questions that will be asked and answered.
Okay. Yeah. All right, we'll look forward to that conference. Thank you so much for your time, Nancy.